Hey everybody, as we discussed in our promotions meeting today, here's a quick tutorial on how to use Photoshop to make a realistic looking mock-up of your flat design. So if you have something that you've mocked up for web, iOS, Android, or something like that, it doesn't really have a frame around it, you wanted to put it into a realistic looking space, this will help you do that, and it'll make it very easy so you can make your mock-up and then apply any design to it that you want. The first thing that I've done, and I would suggest that you do, is find a good stock photo source. I use one called Death to the Stock Photo. You can see in their file names here. They are free. You just sign up with an email address. They'll send you 10 new photos a month. They're pretty good, fairly competent. I've selected one that is a picture of a MacBook Air and one that is a picture of an iPhone. Right now I'm just going to do the MacBook Air. If you guys want me to do the iPhone, comment, let me know, and we'll make that happen. So I'm going to go ahead and open this guy up in Photoshop. It opens as expected, and I'm going to create a square. As simple as that. Now I'm not going to click and drag the square. That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that the square is proportioned to what we know the screen size is. So in this case, I'm just going to click, and then I'm going to type in my square settings as 1440 by 900 pixels. That's how big the resolution is on a MacBook Air 13-inch. So once we have that, you can kind of make it whatever size you want. It doesn't really matter. The most important thing here is the proportion. So I'm holding Shift while I drag this guy around, so it's whatever I want. I'm going to place the file so that it's just a nice square. I just want a little side note, color doesn't matter. I like to use something that's unrealistic so that I can see where I'm at in my progress. Entirely up to you. It could be red, it could be white, black, gray, whatever you like. So with this thing, with your new object selected, click Layer, Smart Object, and then Convert to Smart Object. And that's really the big key here once that's done. Kind of drag it somewhere into place. Once it's a smart object, I like to play with the opacity here so that I can see exactly what I'm doing with this image. So holding in my Apple key, you'll notice that my mouse turns into a little white icon at the corner, and I can do a free transform if I hold in, I'm sorry, not Apple, the Command key. So if I hold in the Command key while I'm clicking and dragging, I can free distort this thing however I want. Now I'm going to zoom in kind of close to the corners here and make sure that I'm getting kind of just a little bit of black outline, because I want to show that like rubber ring that goes around the image. It looks fairly realistic, but I don't really want to show much more than that. If you have a photograph of a Mac that you're going to use, or any computer, give yourself a little bit of space there. And better yet, if you take the photo while the machine is off, so you're not dealing with randomly placed bits of images. So I'm just going to pull this kind of in and around so that that line is fairly straight all the way around. I might adjust these a couple more times. It's pretty quick and standard. I want to pull this one back out just a hair further. And then that's it. And I'm going to place that and apply all my transformations. And you can see we have a nice blue coverage all the way around that screen. I'm not really liking what's happened over here. Actually, I want to zoom in. I think that's a little questionable. I'm going to pull this in just a hair. Just a tiny, tiny bit to make that edge a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to place it again. All right, now that's done. So that is pretty much 99% of our process. I'm going to go bring it back up to 100%. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. There are situations where you're not going to want to do that. And then it's pretty simple. I'm going to open up a screenshot as well. Normally this step you'd be opening up whatever you have, your design, your image that you want to put in there. I'm just going to select all and copy it. And then I'm going to go and open up by double clicking on my smart object. I have this nice big screen. I'm going to place my image, and it's right in the center where I want it to be, and I'm just going to bring it all the way out to the edges, and then I'm going to expand it and close it and save it. And you'll see that Photoshop has applied my image to my map. I'm going to turn off transform control so you can see it, and it looks pretty good, and that just took 3 minutes. So I would spend a little bit more time at this point, maybe adding some lighting effects or adding shadows or moving things around just to make sure that it's absolutely perfect before you move on. But now it's as simple as if I take a screenshot of this computer. Let's go ahead and open up our thing again just to show you how this works. Place that on there. And I'm just going to warp this one out. It's going to look like crap, but that's something I can live with. For this. And then a place, and close and save. There's that, and that's what we got. And then we can go and adjust these layers anytime you need to. You can put all the things in there that you want. As long as you close this smart object and save it, you can put anything you want in there. Please respond with questions. Let me know if you have any better suggestions for this for the class. It'll all be very useful. Thank you guys. Have a great day.